This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Hey guys, this is Grant from the Brutally Delicious podcast, and in a little bit of a change to how we normally do things, we've decided to put a little bit of an intro on this interview. The reason that we've done that is the interview that you're about to watch or listen to is with legendary musician, bass player and singer Glenn Hughes. Glenn's most famous for his work with Deep Purple, but also as the lead singer of Black Sabbath. Now, myself and Bruce conducted this interview at 8:15 Greenwich Mean Time yesterday. As some of you may be aware, at about 7 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time yesterday, we were very sad to hear about the announcement of the death of long-term Black Sabbath vocalist Ozzy Osbourne. Now, far be it from us to put this intro on there to try and suggest that there is anything that would be upsetting or derogatory to Ozzy. That is quite the opposite. Both myself and Bruce are big fans of Glenn. We went into this interview knowing that when we addressed his time with Black Sabbath, that he would respond with grace and civility and respect in relation to his bandmates and his former bandmates, the way that he always seems to. That is the case with this interview. I guess why we wanted to put this intro on there is so that people are aware of the fact that the conversations that we have in relation to Glenn's time with Black Sabbath and his work and relationships with members, both current and former, all of the answers came at a time when we all thought that Ozzy was still alive. I personally would like to add a thank you onto Glenn for this, for the way that he did respond to the questions about former band members. As a musician myself, it often happens where people will talk about their former band members with a level of disdain, a level of hatred. And as we thought coming into this interview, that is not the way Glenn reacts, and it is beautifully refreshing to hear somebody talk about his former experiences, his former bandmates, people that is replaced, and that kind of stuff with such amount of love and honour and respect. And I think it's something that we should all take on board and just try and be a little bit better humans to each other. So without further ado, here's mine and Bruce's interview with legendary bass player and vocalist Glenn Hughes. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Holy, how are you, Glenn?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you. Thank you for taking the time. That's my partner, Grant.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Glenn.
Right here.
Where are you at these days or today?
I'm at my home in LA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Working on a bunch of stuff, huh?
Just about to go out on tour soon.
How do you keep up, before we even get into the meat and potatoes of things, how do you keep up with all the stuff you do? I mean, you're a busy ass guy.
You know, I am, and I do like to take breaks. Like I'll do normally 6 weeks, come home for 10 days and, realign and take it easy, then go out again. I don't think it's appropriate for anyone to do the long, really long tours. It's just really, I don't care how old you are, it's not really good.
Right. No, I agree. And I think the shows probably benefit from that too, where you're rested and not burned out and that sort of thing, right? The energy, the whole deal.
I agree. So,
again, before we even get started, thank you for taking the time. Long time fan.
Thank you.
Saw you with Sabbath. Oh my God, it seems like a million years ago now.
You saw me at my. I think that was the worst period for me as a singer or entertainer, because I was really. It was not good for me. I had a real altercation with somebody, and it was not great. But look, speaking of that, I embrace it all: the good, the bad, the weird, the wonderful. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm glad you recovered from that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the Brendan Byrne Arena in like the Meadowlands in Jersey.
That's right.
And I don't even know what that was. 85, maybe
It was
86.
86.
Crazy. Anyway, let's talk about voice in my head. We could start there. That delves into subconscious and personal reflection.
Yeah.
If you could choose one classic rock anthem from any era to reinterpret as an exploration of the subconscious, which would it be, and how would you put your own therapeutic twist on it?
Oh, it'll have to anything by the Beatles from the mid '60s, really. I mean, Harrison, especially. Talking about the subconscious mind, it's a tricky place, but the Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band he talks a lot about that.
Okay. Since Resonate was released 9 years ago, you've collaborated with a range of artists and explored different genres. How have these experiences outside of your solo work influenced the sonic and emotional direction of Chosen?
That's a good question. I don't really know. All I know is that when I go making an album, I become another version of myself. Each year is another version. So for me, writing music is a way of, it's healing myself, It's a healing process for me every time I go in the studio. So I love working with other artists, but for me, I'm pretty much a solo artist.
One last one, I'm going to let Grant jump in. But when you're writing, how do you keep track of who you're writing for? Do you sit down and write for, I don't know, write Chosen, or you're writing for Black Sabbath, or you're writing for whatever?
Well, I only really have one other thing I'm working on, which is Black Country Communion with Joe Bonamassa.
Right.
That's although it's very similar, it's a little bit different. But when I get to do my own work, I get to speak more about the way I feel.
Right.
And so with Black Country too, but I have to rein it in a little bit.
Okay. Grant?
Awesome. Glenn, again, thank you for talking to us, mate. I'm going to try and stay calm here, but I'm a bass player myself. This is seriously like talking to a hero, mate. So if I start stuttering, my apologies.
Okay.
When Bruce opened up the call there, he touched on your time with Sabbath and the album Seventh Star. Now, I know that you've worked with Tony. I know that the Chosen Years is going to be...
Right.
You're taking a lot from your career and the collaboration you've done with the Chosen Years tour. I guess what I wanted to ask you, because like I say, I know you're still on good terms with some of the guys. Do you feel like the Back to the Beginning gig that they did at Villa Park would have benefited from, either yourself or Ian Gillan or both, just getting a little bit of a slot to go, look, we were part of this legacy too. Tony Martin had the re-releases, Dio toured with Heaven and Hell. You obviously got up with Heaven and Hell, the tribute show. Would you like to have seen yourself as part of one of the supergroups that they put together to bang a track out?
Not really, no. I was quite happy really being observing from a distance. I wasn't offended at all. Tony invited me to go, but I was just coming off the road. I was a bit tired. I thought it was a great event. I'm glad everybody had a good time.
All right. Awesome stuff. So with that in mind, because we talked about the Chosen Years being part of your collaboration, are you going to be including anything from Seventh Star on the Chosen Years tour?
I will be doing something that Tony and I wrote for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That being the case, if I can move on to my next one, you've already talked about Black Country, and honestly, that lineup, I think the only time I've ever seen a supergroup lineup that's made me equally go,
right,
fucking hell, was when I saw the lineup for Chicken Foot. And I was just like, what dark forces put these four amazing musicians together? If it's okay for me to exclude the guys from Black Country in this next question, because they are absolute god tier. You've got a back catalogue of complete musical royalty. If you had the choice, not just from who you've collaborated with, but historic musicians of, this is my fantasy backline, I would have this guy on drums, this guy on keys, this guy on guitars. Do you have any idea who you would choose for that?
Well, it's quite vast, really, because I've known so many great musicians all through from the beginning of my start. Well, for me, you're talking about putting a band together. They're pretty much all these guys are dead. Not. I mean, physically dead, but not dead to me. But
Yeah.
it's Bonham and Jeff Beck, and John Lord. I mean, those three guys would be a great band.
All right.
Awesome. Bruce, back to you. I've got two left.
Yeah. So, voice in my head. Um, you're about to head out on a tour of Europe and South America, and voices in my head. How do you personally let go on stage when the voice in your head is particularly loud?
It's a very therapeutic song, as I've spoke about. And for me, look, I believe that we all have that voice, and some voices are very loud and some are quiet.
Yeah.
But we all have them, and for me, only in the last 5 years I've learned how to observe it, recognize it, and to become a witness of it, and let it play out. Because unfortunately, we can't stop that damn voice,
Right.
and it's loud.
So
Some
even
days
this many years in, you still have that voice in you?
absolutely. I'm not proud of it. I mean,
No.
but the fact is, I know it's there. I mean, it's some days it's not there. Some days it's really there, and I have to find myself chuckling when it comes at me, and I go, "What the hell are you on about?" But I needed to write about it, so I'm glad I got to sing about it.
So is it a conscious effort then to try and subdue it?
Now, look, I have to allow it. You can't stop. You can't stop anything. I'm a person now that allows things to happen: the good, the bad, the weird, the wonderful, the crazy, the insane, the tears. I allow it all to happen. I don't fight anything anymore. I don't chase anything. I'm at a point in my life where I've been studying the spiritual progression for so long. And I'm finally each day going, "Oh, well, this is really interesting." And that's what I live my life is studying and listening and observing the spiritual progression.
That's great. So sign up sort of like a mindfulness sort of thing.
All mindfulness. I mean, everything is, there's a lot of love and laughter going on too. It's not all little doom and gloom. It's just, I find it to be a very enthusing way to live.
Okay. Do you ever worry that you've got nothing left to say, or do you always think there's going to be something to say?
When I put a guitar on or keyboard, I normally come up with something, and I think there's you'll be saying, well, if I've got something else to say, I'll say it, but I don't know. I'm doing this one record at a time, one show at a time, one day at a time. You've heard it before, so I just do it one moment at a time. If I do everything one at a time, I'm good.
Excellent. Grant?
Awesome. Thanks as well, Bruce, because that kind of leads on quite well to me. I was reading one of your old interviews with Classic Rock from last year, Glenn, where you were kind of musing on retiring from live music in the next few years. Is that still something? I mean, in the interview, it didn't sound like you were like committed to it.
No,
I am
no.
retiring on this day.
They were. I mean, I'm good with classic rock. We've been doing a long time. They were asking me, valid questions, because a lot of my peer group now are getting older, and a few are still going in their 80s. I don't see that happening for me. I don't like the word retirement. It's I don't think I could ever retire. I may slow down. I mean, I'm on the road 8-9 months a year. In the last 4 years, it's been really difficult. I say that with love. The shows are no problem. It's the getting to the shows and getting out of the shows. But for me, I think at some point I'll slow it down. I think it's the only right thing. I don't want to be doing this 10 years from now. Hopefully I'm still alive to enjoy. Who else is doing it? But yeah.
So what do you have planned for 10 years from now, if you could envision it?
Well, I'll be active doing something. What I won't be doing is sitting on a couch,
Right.
doing nothing. I'm active in my physical life. I live here at the beach, and I have a great life and great friends. I love music, as you know. I love to sing. It's incredible, and for me, I will be in some active in something.
Do you find, I mean, obviously we're all getting older, we're talking about that, but do you find it more difficult to keep up with, a certain level of Glenn Hughes?
Well, physically, I can't be the performer I was 20 years ago.
Right.
I got films and stuff of me from all those years ago, and my wife said, all you got to do is stand behind the microphone and sing. And she said that with reverence. And I know what she's saying.
Yeah.
I was never really one to jump around on stage and do backflips and stuff like that. It's not me. I think more importantly for me, it's about singing is really the most important thing. Sometimes I'm up on stage going, should I maybe move here? And then I go, no, I'll just do I'll do what comes natural. I mean, I film everything every night, and I don't really look at everything, but I'm filming going, okay, well, that's okay, and that's not okay, but I can't really go like that. I just do what comes natural.
So you go back and look at the Monday morning tapes or something?
Yeah. I think everybody does when they have a film crew with them.
Interesting. Grant?
Awesome. I think I've got a little extra one here, Glenn. As I mentioned before, I'm a bass player myself, and I've got the utmost admiration for you, but also dabble in vocals. You've talked very much as a broad entertainer. I suppose if you had to pigeonhole yourself, and I don't really like pigeonholing, would you tend more towards being a bassist, or would you tend more towards being a singer if you had to choose, if you had to take a polarized look at that?
That's a good question. And I'll give you two-part answers. I am a vocalist, for sure. But the people around me, the people I employ or my management says, Glenn, if we didn't know you were a singer and just knew you were a bass player, people would be going, oh my God. So I love playing bass guitar. If you know that, I love it. But I am a singer, first and foremost, and I love singing. And by the way, Sting is another singing bass player, and McCartney, and Jack Bruce. These are all my friends, and they're musicians that love to sing.
Right. It's crazy hearing you mention, your peers. Those names are just like absolutely legendary. You couldn't possibly have imagined that when you first got into this, right? What's that like?
No. All those years ago when I was 12 and 13, watching the Beatles on TV in the early years, and then, studying guitar, and I had no idea at some point I would know these people, So, I didn't choose music for fame or fortune. I chose it because I fell in love with music. I fell in love with, learning how to play, and, being around musicians, and being nurtured by my family who loved the fact I was raised to play music. I've been doing music for simply one thing. It enables me to be calm and kind, and in a crazy world.
And we talk about this a lot on the show. I think you nailed it right on the head. It's therapeutic and it's cathartic, right? No matter, it doesn't have to be heavy metal, any kind of stuff where you can express and get that catharsis out. It's like cheap therapy.
It is. It's very therapeutic for me. I've been sober now for 30 years. And when I got sober, I decided I would change everything. I would only write about the human condition, about what goes on between the ears. And I don't write about fiction anymore. So for me, each year I write, I go deeper into that.
Do you ever feel like you've put too much of yourself into a song then?
Sometimes, yes, I do. Sometimes I kind of rewrite it.
Oh, you do? So too vulnerable, you can't let that out.
I just keep. Yeah, I mean, as the only writer, I'm always writing lyrics. I mean, tons of lyrics and stuff up at my studio.
Right.
So I get a chance to rewrite stuff all the time.
That's great. That's all I had. Grant, you got anything else in closing?
I suppose I can take two more here, Glenn, just based on what you've said about your career and your progression as an artist. I went to see Terry Reid last year because I'm a big fan of Terry's stuff, and he had this wonderful anecdote in the set playing in Newcastle, and he was like, I played my first gig here when I was 15, supporting the Rolling Stones, and I'm kind of like, what? How the? That's just an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I suppose looking back at the vast career that you've had, is there a particular moment, or a particular gig or a particular opportunity where you look back at it and kind of go, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe I was a part of that.
Well, Terry's one of my closest friends. I've known Terry since he was 16. So we go way back. I love him very much. My answer for that was at 18 years old, I was signed to the Moody Blues record label. You were too young to know that. Called Threshold Records in 1970. We hadn't made an album yet, Trapeze. We hadn't made an album. And the Moody Blues took us to America to open for them, playing, stadiums. And they took some unknown kids from the West Midlands with them to play America. I mean, amazing. For me to be in America in 1970, to see the real America in that period, it was the most. Can you imagine what it was like in the 70s to open for a major band? I've just come out of school. It was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I'll cap off my questions here. We've already kind of touched on it a little bit again, Glenn. You mentioned that period from Sabbath, late 90s up until, I believe it was KLF, was a collaboration where you kind of came back after a period of recovery. Both myself and Bruce are very, very much advocates in relation to mental health and helping people through dark times. So would you
I can
have
feel
a message? That. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time with it.
A message?
Love it.
Yeah. What would you say to any kind of fans, fellow artists out there that are struggling with dark thought processes, struggling with thoughts that aren't necessarily constructive?
I'm sure you'll appreciate this. Don't fight it. Observe, become a witness to that behavior. Take yourself out of it, observe it, and allow it to happen. And don't fight it. Don't be angry, and let it go. We have to let go of everything in this life because it will destroy everything. And it's taken me years and years and years of studying to realize this, that I can't allow anything to, well, I allow, but I can't, nothing is going to kill me physically. So, I mean, the universe is not going to kill me for sure.
That's something you have to continually work at, though, right? I know I do.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And I do it with reverence. First thing I do in the morning, I'm onto it, and I'm onto it right before I go to bed. And I set the tone for the next day, and I set an intention.
Good for you. Well, Glenn, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much for your contributions to the hard rock, metal, whatever world.
Thank you.
I'm a long-time fan, bucket list interview. I appreciate everything.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Glenn, thank you so much for everything. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Be well.
Same, mate. It's been an honour, Glenn.
Bye-bye.
Good luck with the tour. I hope to see you in Newcastle.
Away the lads. Aye.
Way aye.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.